the idea that wrong is whatever harms the collective good. Well, who defines harm? Who is defining collective good? Who set the standard that harm is what defines the collective good? At some level or another, when you get down to it, without a standard that supersedes human intellect, that supersedes our human opinion, we are always relying on ourselves. But if there is a moral lawgiver who has set this standard by which we can measure what is just and unjust, then goodness does exist. And for someone who has suffered trauma of any form, there are several very healing truths that flow from this reality. And the first is this: if goodness exists, there is hope. It is not just darkness. It is not just evil. This also means, for those who have suffered abuse and injustice, that you can call what happened to you evil and unjust, and you do not have to minimize it. You do not have to mitigate it. You do not have to downplay it. You can speak the truth about what happened to you because it is true regardless of what everyone around you says. This also means that you can grieve the damage. It is grief worthy. You do not have to prove it. You don't have to have 12 jurors affirm what happened to you to have permission to grieve the evil. You can speak the truth about it because there is a standard that exists outside of what culture says. And being able to speak the truth and to grieve non-destructively is the first step in healing from any form of trauma. And then the second implication we see from this worldview is that if there is a moral lawgiver who defines goodness, this lawgiver cares about justice. He cares about good and evil. In the Christian faith, right and wrong flow not from some capricious decision, but from the very nature of God, from the very nature of the Creator. And the Bible teaches that the reason we feel justice so keenly is because it is such an aberration from what we were created to experience, such an aberration from God. And because goodness and evil exist in opposition to each other, in contrast, the more one understands the good, the more fully they will be able to understand the evil.